Hello, I am Dr. Emory Daniel Jr. I'm an assistant professor at Appalachian State University, and I'm also a researcher analyzing things like advertising, gaming, computer mediated communication, and media psychology. Professionally, I also research community management on streaming platforms and social media strategies. I got really excited to write this particular chapter because I've always been an avid JRPG fan, and I've always had a profound interest within the Final Fantasy saga and series. From the tragic and beautiful love story that is between Celis and Locke in Final Fantasy VI, to the resilience and optimism of Riku in Final Fantasy X, these stories and characters have always drawn me into playing each installment. And it is what I love, not only about JRPGs but Final Fantasy in general. Um, I was tasked to be an author of the chapter Drinking the Magica, the struggle of overcoming parasocial relationships with genocidal regimes in Final Fantasy X. And while I was excited to write this chapter, I was also conflicted as I just finished co authoring a piece in the psychology of the Legend of Zelda about the Kubla Rasa stages of grief through Majora's Mask. And now I was asked to be writing about genocidal cults within Final Fantasy X. Despite being an author writing about death and tragedy consistently, the notion of writing about cult mentality and overcoming cognitive dissonance seemed like an important thing to talk about. As far as takeaways, the major takeaway I would like for people to get out of this chapter is that beliefs are very strong premises in people's lives. Uh, Leaders of these beliefs who preach and represent certain ideologies are paramounts to people's way of thinking. So much like Seymour and Unalesca, they really provide the foundation for people's beliefs and how they structure their lives. However, for characters like Yuna, Waka, and Lulu, they all have to reconcile with the fact that their foundational beliefs are hurting others and themselves. It is only through overcoming their mental dissonance with the cult that they belong to that they can actually understand their true goal in life. It was a pleasure to write this chapter. It's probably one of my favorite ones that I got to get a hold of and talk about. Not only for the love of the franchise, but to encourage people to remember to think for themselves and understand that the challenging of ideas and challenging the preconceived rights that you might think is a good thing. After all, it is ultimately that thinking that saved Spira in the end of Final Fantasy X. I hope you will enjoy my chapter, and I had a pleasure writing it. Thank you very much.